A Fox News alert. The United States Attorney General Eric Holder is expected to announce later today that he will resign his office. An event has been scheduled 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time at the White House, about 5 hours from now. We are told that the Attorney General has discussed resigning with the president several times. He's done so in the past as well, telling the New Yorker magazine in February that he was planning to step down later this year. Let's talk about it with Jonah Goldberg, editor-at-large for National Review Online and a Fox News contributor. He is one of the few cabinet members left from who were originally appointed in the Obama administration. He has also, Jonah, been a lightning rod for criticism from you and others.
That's right. I mean, he's the fourth longest-serving Attorney General, and he's one of the last three of the original cabinet appointees. But the reason he stayed in longer than a lot of others is I believe, is because he's been basically a political fixer, a firewall for the President of the United States, a stonewaller, and he serves much the way Bobby Kennedy did for JFK as in many ways, a politicized Attorney General / hatchet-man for the President. And this is going to create some really interesting political problems for the White House when he steps down, because the nomination and confirmation battle is going to be very interesting.
Right, and what is interesting about that, too, is there is the prospect of Republicans taking over the Senate. They would have to confirm his replacement, and they could either, under these new rules engineered by Democrats in the Senate, there could be some interesting changes afoot.
Right. Well, that may be why he's resigning now, is this is maybe the last moment he can and get in under the wire with the Democratic-controlled lame duck Senate that we would get after the election if the Republicans take back the Senate. Harry Reid could then jam him through with those revised rules. But even if that's the case, if they do that, look, if they do it before the election, then you're going to have this very awkward moment where everyone gets to make Eric Holder's tenure and whoever this person who's going to replace Holder into an issue going into the final weeks of the election, which could be, pretty radioactive, given that you'd have to talk about Fast and Furious and the IRS and the stonewalling and investigating our colleague James Rosen and all of that. And I'm not sure that's all that great for the president. But regardless, those issues are going to come up whenever the confirmation hearings are. Republicans still have the right to ask them, even if they don't control the Senate. And those are going to be some awkward answers for this administration.
The Attorney General, the President himself said he was outraged to hear that the IRS got caught, investigating conservative groups. The President was going to get to the bottom of it. I presume that, Eric Holder is the guy who's supposed to do that. Nothing much has happened.
Yeah, well, maybe the President's emails to Eric Holder about this were erased by accident. Look, I think that episode is a perfect example of something I've been talking about on a whole wide array of issues, where the President's idea of solving a problem is saying the right words to make the questions about the problem go away. That was his approach to ISIS. That was his approach to foreign policy, Afghanistan, and ordering the surge. He sees things as he sees his problem solving as saying the words and doing as little as possible to make the political problem go away. And the key person in many instances to make the actual problem go away has been Eric Holder, who's slow-walked any number of investigations, who serves as sort of the flak catcher for the President of the United States, and has a certain bizarre immunity among a lot of people in the mainstream media. If John Ashcroft had behaved half as politicized as Eric Holder has, the New York Times would be, sparking riots.
So who do you see taking over that job? And anybody in the department now? Is there a deputy?
I don't know. My guess is the way the Obama administration operates a lot of the time, if they announce this before the elections, if they're really going to try and hurry it up, my guess is he goes for a woman. It helps with his whole war on women narrative, but I really don't know. This happened while I was waiting in the studio, so it'd be interesting to see who some of the possibilities are.
We did have another topic in mind for you until this news broke, and we appreciate you rolling with that. Jonah Goldberg joining us from Washington from the National Review Online. Jonah, thank you.